couldn't be easier. The crust requires no par baking, and both it and the topping are simply stirred together in bowls. Spread 4 cups of pecan halves in a single layer on a rimmed baking sheet. It is important to use pecan halves for this recipe, not pieces. Toast the nuts in a preheated 350-degree oven, shaking the sheet halfway through to prevent burning, until the pecans are fragrant and slightly darkened, 8 to 12 minutes. To avoid overbrowning, transfer the toasted nuts to a plate to cool. For the crust, make a foil sling for a 13 by 9 inch baking pan by folding 2 long sheets of aluminum foil. The first sheet should be 13 inches wide and the second sheet should be 9 inches wide. Lay the sheets of foil in the pan perpendicular to each other, with the extra foil hanging over the edges of the pan. Push the foil into the corners and up the sides, smoothing it flush to the pan. Lightly spray the foil with vegetable oil spray. Place 1 3/4 cups of all-purpose flour, 6 tablespoons of sugar, and half a teaspoon of salt in a medium bowl and whisk until combined. Add 8 tablespoons of melted unsalted butter and stir with a wooden spoon until a dough begins to form. Using your hands, continue to combine until no dry flour remains and a small portion of dough holds together when squeezed in the palm of your hand. Evenly scatter tablespoon-sized pieces of dough over the surface of the pan. Using your fingertips and the palm of your hand, press and smooth the dough into an even thickness in the bottom of the pan. For the topping, place 3/4 cups of packed light brown sugar, half a cup of light corn syrup, 7 tablespoons of hot melted unsalted butter, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and half a teaspoon of salt in a medium bowl and whisk until smooth, about 20 seconds. The mixture will look separated at first, but will become homogeneous. Add the toasted pecan halves to the sugar mixture and fold until the nuts are evenly coated. Pour the topping over the crust. Using a spatula, spread the topping over the crust, pushing it to the edges and into the corners. There will be bare patches. Bake on the lowest rack of a preheated 350-degree oven until the topping is evenly distributed and rapidly bubbling across the entire surface, 23 to 25 minutes. Transfer the pan to a wire rack and lightly sprinkle with a half teaspoon of flake sea salt. Let the bars cool completely in the pan on the rack about 1.5 hours. Using the foil overhang, lift the bars out of the pan and transfer to a cutting board. Cut into 24 bars. The edges will be slightly firmer than the center. If desired, trim a 1/4 inch from the edges before cutting. The bars can be stored at room temperature for up to 5 days.